Hello, my name is Evangelina Combs, also known as Evie Combs, and I am a voice and piano teacher at the Music Connection in Sycamore, Illinois. Currently, I am an undergraduate student studying vocal and choral music education at the Northern Illinois University School of Music, where I've been involved in multiple ensembles, including chamber choir, concert choir, and the NIU Opera Theater program, where I most recently led our production of Die Fledermaus in my role as Rosalinda. I'm originally from Oak Park, Illinois, which is in the west suburbs of Chicago, and I grew up in a very musical household. My mom grew up playing piano, so when I was very young, I started taking piano lessons, and I really enjoyed learning music, and it was always a class in my schools that I felt very drawn to. This was also due to the fact that my dad is an opera singer at the Lyric Opera of Chicago, so I grew up in the opera house both backstage and in the audience. My mom is also a Montessori teacher, so growing up I realized that I really loved teaching people of all ages, whether older or younger than me, and I really loved teaching about things I was passionate about, which I eventually learned to be music. In high school, I had the opportunity to teach our freshman treble choir, and it really solidified for me that I wanted to be a choir teacher and I wanted to teach people music. For me, many of my inspirations for music have been from my own family, including my mom and dad. Watching my mom help me learn piano as a kid really inspired me to want to be a better pianist. And going and seeing my dad in many shows at the Opera House and being able to see the backstage functions of everything really inspired me to want to pursue music as a career. I've also been very inspired by my music educators that I had growing up, such as my middle school choir director and my high school choir director, who is also an NIU alumni. And I always knew that this was something that I wanted to do with my life and always felt right. My teaching philosophy includes many components. However, some of the main points are that, one, it is never too late to start learning. I have taught students kindergarten through seniors in high school, but I've also taught adults who said that they never took the chance to learn music as a kid and now they wanted to try. And I love seeing people put themselves out there as adults and try something new, because it is never too late to learn a new skill, especially if it's something that you're passionate about. I also believe that practicing is key. You can go to your lessons and have a great lesson, but you have to put in the work behind the scenes as well to help you succeed. And I also want my classroom to always be a nurturing and comforting environment, because learning a new skill is hard, and I want my students to feel comfortable with me enough to help explain where they feel like they need more improvement on, so we can work together to get you there.
Hi, my name is Feuersthaler, and I am the violin and viola teacher here at the Music Connections located in Sycamore. Some things about me: I am currently going into my senior year at Northern Illinois University, getting my Bachelor's of Music in Instrumental Music Education, as well as a certificate in Asian American Studies. I'm currently studying violin under Professor Matthias Taka, former second violinist of the Vermeer String Quartet. I have a vast background within teaching, spanning from elementary general music to orchestral settings, privately and in the public schools. I've been teaching private lessons for over 6 years, and then I've also done my clinical experience in middle school and high school orchestra, as well as working in before school camps, chamber coaching, and just overall observations. Some of my biggest inspirations for music was just everyone I've seen play, watching professionals, going to Chicago Symphony Orchestra, Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, and I love watching my professor gig. It's very inspiring, as well as watching my students just grow and progress over time, as I'm so proud of all of their achievements. Some of my biggest teaching philosophies is that every student is different. So there's no cookie cutter size for this student learns this way and this student learns that way. So that's super important to me. So within my teaching style, I like to do a lot of goal setting and planning. So whether that's through the semester, whether that's weekly, bi-weekly, per month, I like to set mini goals and celebrate those goals with incentives such as a little reward or playing a specific piece that your child requests. So that's really important to me, as well as reinforced practice and communication. Music lessons is a teamwork effort between the instructor, the student, and the student's parents. So making sure everyone's on the same team, because at the end of the day, the main goal is that we want our students to succeed.
Have you ever dedicated yourself to something that you're really passionate about? Well, the person you see sitting behind me has done exactly that. So let me show you. Stick around. Dedication. Have you ever chosen to do something that required a lot of dedication? Today we're joined by Mr. Dartagnan Stephen, and he's going to share some things about his past that will reveal high levels of dedication that have allowed him to get to that level of excellence in the world of trumpet. So Dartagnan, can you explain to us what are some things that you've had to show dedication in, whether it be starting from day one, and all the different things that have gotten you to this point?
Well, there's a lot of dedication that goes into auditions that come to mind for me, especially because you have to work on these auditions for a long time, for months at a time, and just really get very meticulous about the details of all of the pieces that you're playing.
For the beginner, intermediate level student that wants to go to that next level in their own playing, what are some tips you would give them to help build that muscle memory that's required to reach that high level of excellence?
Well, I'd say don't skip on the scales.
Yeah.
For one thing, the scales are a big thing. They might not seem that big at first, but really a lot of the stuff that we do on the trumpet is going up and down the scales and having that just really solid understanding of how the scales work, to the point where you can look at a page and recognize the scale pattern and not even the notes. And so you're kind of thinking about it on this higher level, makes it much easier to play.
Is there maybe a famous quote that you know or that you remember from your undergrad or your graduate studies that maybe helped you kind of push on in life?
Well, yeah, actually from my drum corps years, one of the go-to phrases in the drum corps is trust the process.
That's good.
And I think about that all the time. And the idea behind that quote specifically is that even if it seems like it's not working, even if like I'm practicing and it doesn't seem like I'm getting any better or what, that at the end of the day, you just have to trust that what you're doing is going to get you there. Because sometimes there are up and downs as it goes. Sometimes just randomly you pick up the trumpet and you just don't sound as good as you did yesterday for no reason at all. And so it's in those moments that you really have to remember that it is a process. It's not something that is super consistent like that. And if you keep to it, if you just trust the process, then eventually you're going to get where you want to be.
All right. So for those that are watching, thanks so much for tuning in today. Feel free to reach out to us at the Music Connection LLC at Sycamore, Illinois. You can reach us by phone, 815-217-5648. And we hope to hear from you soon. Thanks for tuning in.